Hey folks, it's Tom, your frugal prepper. So I'm still kind of working on the whole closet reorganization thing, and so I'm just going to kind of show you what I've done as far as this. I've been getting things, organized, and different office supplies and stuff. No big deal there. But over here in this closet, I guess, let me flip the camera around. So up here, I'm going to be putting a piece of plywood. And I'm going to mount my cable modem, my firewall, my wireless access point, my switch, all that stuff up here to get it out from under my desk where there's a big web of tangled cords. And then I'm also, like in my bedroom where I want to hook my MacBook up to gigabit Ethernet, I'm going to put some cable drops in to my main workstation here, to my server, and to my bedroom at least. And then I also have an Ethernet cable that runs in from the access point that feeds the garage. So that'll be coming in here. And so I got me a little 16 port patch panel I'm going to put up there. I'm going to run some Cat 5 drops. But the problem I had was power. This is just plaster backer board from the 30s where the house was built, where they never plastered it. And this stuff's like really soft and papery. It's not drywall at all. But this closet just had this one light. And so before, let me show you what it had in here to control this light. Alright, so before we had one of these deals here with the pull chain, this thing screwed in, and I had a pencil sharpener cord run over and plugged in there. And the outlet there was always live. So this is original wiring to the house. It has only two conductors, a neutral and a hot. There's no ground. And I wanted to pull power off of that rather than run a new, connection. So, I'll say first, is this up to code? I'm sure it's not. I'm sure code would say you pull in a new circuit and put in a plug. You could probably leave the existing light and cable and wiring, but you might even be able to put a switch on it. But to actually feed off of it, while they would probably say no, because you can retrofit a two-wire system with a GFI to put in 3-wire plugs, as long as you mark the boxes that there's no ground. But as far as I actually put in a new box, well, then I'm adding new wiring, so I'm sure that's not up to code. However, my goal is to be safe, alright? Codes are good guidelines if you're doing something new to do it well and to have what you need, but there is room in there, from my perspective, to be safe. What you run into with no ground is if there's normally a short, say, to this box, between the hot wire and this box, well, it'll hit the ground on the box. That would trip the breaker. Now it would not. That box would become hot. You could touch that box and, I'm getting electrocuted, right? So, and what you have to do is put in a GFI. The GFI is going to watch this hot, and if in this plug or anywhere down circuit from it, it is drawing more current across the hot than is putting back on the neutral, then it will pop the GFI. GFI outlets don't have to be grounded. In fact, that's one of the main reasons that they make GFIs, is so you can retrofit houses that have a 2-wire system and put in 3-wire plugs. You just have to put this tag on here that says no equipment ground, and then you can do that. So what we've done is we've taken the hot wire down to the switch, and we feed the hot side of this plug. I run the red wire back up. This is 14.3, so I run the red wire back up to feed the light, give it power from the switch, right? And then the hot wire comes back from the switch over here on the hot side, feeds this, and then it comes back up on the white, ties into the neutral up here. So this was actually wired backwards, which was no big deal as long as it's only a light fixture. But you would not want to do that with the switch. You would not want to accidentally switch the neutral, because you'd turn the light off. You'd be like, oh, the light's out. Now I could stick a potato on that broken light bulb and unscrew it, right? Or whatever, and you get the crap shocked out of you because it's still hot. It just, the current can't flow from the hot because the neutral's not allowing the current to pass. So now it is, what I had to do. Just take with the circuit turned off, with the breaker off, take both wires and see which one had continuity back to ground at another outlet. And just get a long piece of wire, run over there. And since they're bonded in the main panel, because it's not a sub panel, your ground and neutral will have continuity. So once I knew that, I could have used 14.4. In fact, that would have been better. Because then I could have brought the neutral down, right? And I could have put this light on the circuit after the GFI, which might have been a little better. But I only have 14.3, so that's what I used. So the light is still not GFI protected, but I have the GFI here so that even if you plug something in that has a ground and it's not grounded, if you make another path from the hot on that equipment to a ground through your body or whatever, is going to trip this. So it's important to understand that GFIs don't protect from overload. Like, this is on a 15 amp circuit. I could put 20 amps on here, and that's the circuit breaker that's going to trip. It'll never trip the GFI. The GFI is only monitoring between the hot side and the neutral side to make sure there's as much current going out the neutral as there is coming in the hot. And if there's more current coming out of the hot than is going back in the neutral, then it knows that current is leaking to taking an alternate path to a ground, possibly through your body, and it trips it. And it's very sensitive. The slightest amount of current will cause that to trip. So in the house, you have 2 wires up top that you could put additional receptacles on. So you'd find the first receptacle, you would put the GFI there, and every other receptacle that was a 2-wire, you would wire in after that. And then you could change those out to 3-prong plugs, but then you'd have to put this sticker on each of the other receptacles that says there's no equipment ground. It'll work fine. I wouldn't recommend plugging sensitive computer electronics into a circuit like that. However, every piece of equipment I'm going to be putting in here doesn't have a 3rd prong. It only has 2 prongs like this. So I'm not concerned about that. But if you're actually plugging in a PC or something like that, then you might want to get a grounded outlet. And eventually I probably will run a grounded outlet in here. And I have a dedicated 20 amp right out here at my desk. Hi, Wesley.
Hi.
I have a dedicated 20 amp that runs my desk here. So I would probably just send another wire up to that and bring another extension off of that up here and have a circuit here. But that's a project for another day. Right now, this is safer. This box was all loose. It's screwed in tight now, and now you can actually turn the power off to the light if you need to change the bulb or work on it. And this is GFI protected, which helps. A lot of the outlets in here in this house have been rewired with new wire. They were accessible, so like this outlet here is properly grounded. It's got newer wire running back to the breaker box. So however, there's still an old 2-wire in the bathroom, which is not a good idea. I'd like to have at least a GFI there, and I'd like to go ahead and pull new wiring. And just because bathrooms, hair dryers, they use a lot of current, new wiring, 20 amp with a GFI. Same thing by the kitchen. So it's just a work in progress that I'll get around to doing it lately. But I've seen a lot of people that get confused. They think the GFI is going to protect them from an overload, and it just does it faster or something. But the GFI does not protect from an overload. It's a ground fault interrupter. So it says, hey, something's drawing more current to ground than it's going back through the neutral, so I'm going to interrupt the circuit, and kicks it off. And that is one of the valid uses for this plug. That's why they include these stickers in the box. If you have to convert a house that has 2-wire receptacles to 3-wire receptacles, you use a GFI outlet at the beginning of that circuit. Alright, I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your frugal prepper. Hopefully that might help somebody to understand what GFI is and what to do if you have 2-wire circuits. I'll talk to y'all later. Everybody, be happy, be frugal out there.